So today we're going to be going over using the percent proportion. Now, there's a word in there that we already know, proportion, that we've been working on for a very, very, very long time. So this should be pretty easy to pick up on because we're using proportions. We're just adding in percents. So what the percent proportion is 1 ratio, oh, and I messed it up on here even, 1 ratio compares part underline part there of a quantity that's of a quantity to the whole quantity. And whole is underlined, so it's part of a whole. And the other ratio that it's equal to, so I'm just going to write a big equal sign there, is a percent written as a fraction. As a fraction. And remember, percents, if you get a perfect, what percent do you get? 100, so percents are out of 100. So these first ones we're going to go over are find the percent problems. So we're going to be given a part and a whole, and we want to find what percent out of 100 it is. So here it says 12 is what percent of 32. So this is the part that's tricky, is how to set it up. So 12 is some percent of 32. So 12 is the part of the whole 32, and that's going to be equal to some percent. We don't know, but percents are always out of 100. Now we can cross multiply and divide. 12 times 100 is 1200 divided by 32 gives us 37.5. So our answer is 37.5. And these should be pretty quick for you to solve once you get them set up into how they need to be. Another thing is sometimes our part can be bigger than our whole. So we want to know what percent of 5 is 12. So if it's of 5, that means 5 is our whole. And 12 is our part. So our 12 is bigger than our 5. So our part is bigger than our whole, and that is okay. And that's going to be equal to some percent we don't know, and percents are always out of 100. Cross multiply and divide again. And we have 12 times 100, which is 1200, divided by 5. And that will get us 240. So 12, what percent of 12 is, what percent of 5 is 12? It is 240%, and I should add that up here too, because we found the percent. So 37.5%. Now here on these next ones, I want you to pause and then have you solve them. And I'm just going to write in the work here and put the answers for you to check. So 15 is what percent of 20? X over 100. And your answer there is 75%. $100 is what percent of 25? So it's a percent out of 100. And your answer is 400%. And what percent of 18 is 9? So since it's of 18, that goes on the bottom. X over 100, because we're looking for a percent. And that one is 50%. So check your work there and compare, and remember we're always cross multiplying and dividing like we did last unit. Now we're going to try and find a number that is a percent of another number. So we're going to try to find this part of the whole when we're given a percent out of 100. So now we're going to be looking for this one up here. And these are called find the part problems because once again we're looking for that part. So what number is 15.5%? So we can do our 15.5%. 15.5 is out of 100 because if you get a perfect on your test, it's 100%, so percents are out of 100. And what number is that of 450? So because it's of 450, 450 goes on the bottom. And we're looking for this. So once again, cross multiply and divide. 450 times 15.5 gets us 6,975. Then we divide here by this 100, and our answer is 69.75. And you're going to have decimals, and don't let that freak you out because sometimes your answer is a decimal. Now find 10.5%. So we know 10.5% is 10.5 out of 100, and that's some number of 30. Because it's of 30, the number that comes after the of goes on the bottom. Cross multiply and divide again. 30 times 10.5 is 315. We're going to divide that by 100. And your answer is 3.15. Hope this is making sense. On these next ones, I want you to pause and try to solve on your own. I'm going to continue going and just writing in how it should be set up and what the answer is. So we've got 0.4 out of 100 equals something out of 330. And the answer is 37.62. 15.3%, sorry, 15.3 out of 100. That equals some number of 425, so 425 is on the bottom. And our answer there is 65.025. And here we've got 63.4%, so it's out of 100. Of 12, so 12's on the bottom, and we're looking for that number. 12 times 63.4 divided by 100 gets us 7.608. So those are your answers there. If you're confused, come get up, ask me, and I will help you. And finally, we're going to find the number, the whole of the number. Wow. We're going to find the whole number of the percent that we're missing. So we're going to be looking for the whole, we're going to know the part, and we're going to know the percent out of 100. So we're going to be looking for this here. As you've noticed, the key to success into solving these problems is knowing where the numbers go in our proportions, knowing whether it's the part or the whole or the percent or the not the 100, that'll always be there. So earlier it was of the number to let us know it was on the bottom. Let's see what happens now. So we've got 78 is 60% of what number? So since it's of what number, that's on the bottom because everything that comes after, or whatever it is that comes after the of, goes on the bottom. 78 is that number on the top, and it is 60%, so that's 60 out of 100. Once again, cross multiply. 78 times 100 is 7,800. We're going to divide that by 60, and we get 130. So our whole here is 130. Our next one, 30%, so boom, I'm going to take care of that right away, 30 out of 100. 30% of what number? Of what number? That makes it go, what just happened? On the bottom. So our x, we don't know what it is 63. So 63 is something of a whole number. Cross multiply. 63 times 100 is 6,300. We're going to divide by 30, and that will get us 210. So cross multiply and divide, we're going to do this for quite a bit now, so hopefully you've had it going strong. You can pause and solve, and I will put in the answers here for you. $45 is 3% of some number, and we get 1,500. And 18% of what number is 126? So 18% of what number is 126? And you cross multiply and divide to get 700. Once again, if you're having troubles, just raise your hand or come get up, because I sometimes don't look around, and I will come and help you. Now we're just going to add in some word problems to be able to set our equations up, and then you'll be good to go. So here it says the table shows the batting statistics for one season for Derek Jeter of the New York Yankees. If he had 639 at-bats, what percent of his at-bats were singles? Round to the nearest tenth. So we're looking for the percent here. So we can already go. We don't know what this number is. We want to know what percent. We have no idea. It's of his at-bats. So here it says he had 639 at-bats. So since it is of his at-bats, that word of tells us whatever comes after is our whole. So that 639 goes on the bottom because at-bats comes after of, and 639 is the number of the at-bats. Then it wants to know we're singles. So we're going to go looking here. Oh, right away. His singles were 151. So we're going to put 151 up here at the top. And I'm sure we all know what to do now. We're going to cross multiply and divide. So 151 times 100 gets us 15100, or 15,100. And then we divide by this number down here. So divided by 639. Cross multiply and divide. And we get 23.631. Round to the nearest tenth. Nearest tenth. This here is the tenth spot. 3 doesn't make us do anything, so our answer is 23.6%. Because we're looking for that number over 100, which is our percent. So don't forget that percent sign here. That's very important. We're going to do one more together, and then I'll have you do the last one on your own. Here wants to know what percent of Derek Jeter's at-bats were strikeouts. So once again, what percent? That's X over 100 of his at-bats, and his at-bats were 639. So since it's of 639, that 639 goes on the bottom. And strikeouts. So we're going to come over here, single, double, triple, home run, walk. There's strikeout. So he had 100 strikeouts. So that part is 100. Once again, cross multiply and divide. Gotta love it, right? And we get 10,000. Divide by the 639. And we get 15.649. It keeps going. We want to round to the 10th. Our 4 doesn't tell us to do anything. So we get 15.6% because we're looking for the percent. So you need the percent sign. This last one, pause and try on your own. And I will solve it here. The number of mutual funds that increased in value during the third quarter of the fiscal year was 15. So 15 must be important. If this is 60% of the total number of mutual funds offered, how many mutual funds were offered? So here I've got 60%. So I know right away I can write that as 60 over 100. Here I had of the total number of mutual funds, and we want to know how many were the total number offered. So if of the total number, that goes on the bottom. We don't know what that is. So then our part here is this 15. Once again, cross multiply and divide. 1,500 divided by 60. And we get 25. So the answer is that there were 25 total mutual funds offered. And that's the end of this lesson, so you can go on to do the homework. If you're confused, come over and let me help you and I'll walk you through some steps. Otherwise, I hope you're good to go.